Now we're on. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we we have some new clientele coming through. Um, we've got a Carol's got a client starting today, and I'm having a chat with Carol's new client's husband, and so we're looking at there's going to be two breakthroughs coming through, and we've spoken to their plan manager last week, and you'll start seeing some new peeps on the spreadsheet that we're allocating. And also to in regards to the spreadsheet, we've added new fields like bank fees for people who actually pay by debit or credit card before we do the actual split. So that's been happening. Henry's another new one that's coming through for more support work during school holidays. I've been in dialogue with Helen, the lady who's got the software for the NDIS programs, and I sent her a big email this morning just to get clarity on how we document for, I suppose, clients who are not necessarily needed to be audited, because so since we've been registered, we've received no work from group programs so far, which we know that's coming. It's all a work in progress. But what we've been doing is getting a lot of work in support work and group, breakthrough work, which is under the category of like community participation, which is like a category 15 kind of thing. So I'll just share the spreadsheet for a moment. If I press the right button, I'll just press the wrong one and then tick. I'll find that spreadsheet. Let's get out of that. And don't laugh about my 37 windows that are open. Everyone gets anxiety when they see that.
I do.
Oh, good luck. All right. So just to give you some clarity here, already in April, we've got more work to add to here. Diane's using us for a retreat soon, so we've already like invoiced and paid for a retreat that she's going to on the 1st of May. And Heidi's going to be picking her up from Gold Coast Airport. I'm going to be driving her to Sydney Airport on the 1st of May. So she's got that part sorted. Di went with Helen on Sunday for a sound healing session. Apparently went okay. So all these things have been documented already for April. Breakthrough work with Amanda. Carol's doing that. She's been consistent, but she also had a session off, so we didn't charge that because it's done well in general. She's had a few problems there. A couple with Henry, and I've got more work coming with him tomorrow as well. Going go-kart racing, Kim. So yeah, as Carol says, living your best life. So you'll see here on like with the breakthrough session, because it's still that 5,850 mark or thereabouts. We've actually implemented for this contract 11 weeks at 532.11. For Bo is the son, so we're using the category for like parents and carers training. Does that make sense? So we've got the category details the other day, just invoiced for it this morning, and the equivalent is for 7.13 hours. That hourly rate can be a bit higher because that says it on the schedule with NDIS. Carol gets paid a measly $42. I think what we'll have to do, we'll have to adjust that because of the percentage, Carol. I just realized that this morning because we've been working on the provisor for $42 an hour. So I've just got to work out that equivalent, the percentage, what $42 is against 65.47. So that will be adjusted for Carol on that one because of that higher rate of 74.63, where normally when we do a breakthrough, you see how on Amanda's we've just kept it at 65.47. So I just got to change that pro rata amount. So I'll work that out today. I just realized that.
Can I just say, can I just clarify with Kim, because I haven't spoken to Kim about where these are coming from, because like I keep saying to Luke, I want to be able to give the girls breakthroughs. So with Amanda is a local lady here. She was referred by a friend of mine who does NDIS. So Amanda comes here. In regard to this new lady that's coming through today, She actually reached out to me because she's a friend of my family. And with her and her husband, it's her husband that has it's her husband and her stepson that have the NDIS funding. But I spoke to her the other day. So she reached out asking about support for her husband because she knows my family, she knows me, but I don't know her that well. And she's seen that we're now doing the providing work. And then she disclosed to me some pretty horrific information that is affecting her and her relationship, but also her parenting skills with her husband. And I basically said to her, so in all of this, what you've got going on, who is supporting you? Because this is really impacting your life. And she said, I've got my counselor who I see every week. I go in, I have a chat, I feel okay, then I leave, and then everything turns to shit. And basically, I said to her, you know, hypothetically speaking, is there any room in your funding for you to be supported, for you to be supported through us? And she went and she said, look, I'd like to look into that. So that's how that came about. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify with that, because I mean, not that you guys would think it, but it's like all the breakthroughs are coming, to Carol and Luke, but there's connections with them. And I mean, I just want to give you and Heidi some of this work, but they're very personal connections, if that makes sense. I just wanted to clarify that. That's all.
Hey, I'm happy to sit back and just get my percentage for doing,
I
that's what
know.
the pay. I mean,
I know.
who am I to dispute how this works?
I know, but we're the team. Like we're the team. And I like that. It's just part of my values in regard to being transparent. That's all. I just feel
That's all right.
it's really important. Because I've got a girlfriend who works with NDIS, and she is referring she's referring people to me as well. And it's because they're local people.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reality is you're going to get all the local people come direct to you anyway. I've actually got someone who reached out to me, a lady that I've seen quite a few times through Osteo. She's very awakened soul, but she's got a friend who is an NDIS client.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she wants to send to me because she said, I don't imagine she'll ask for help, but she needs help, and she is also NDIS. I said, fabulous, we can use her funding for a breakthrough.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
in progress, just trying to get her to open up and all that sort of stuff. So like, I know that there'll be people that come to Heidi, there'll be people that come to me through our appropriate channels. And then even as we grow, those that just come through the 1300 number can then just be allocated based on the space we have in our own availability.
Absolutely.
The reality is while Carol and Luke's face is over a lot of the marketing and all that sort of stuff, it's no surprise people are going to want to work with you guys directly, especially initially. And that's just reality. That's just how it is. Like it's also a location-based business at the moment. So, at the end of the day, they'll filter through to Heidi and I when they're ready to filter through.
Yeah. And the woman that's starting today with all of these challenges with her family, she basically said to me, she said, Carol, I know your family and I trust your family, so therefore I trust you. And that was a big thing.
Of course.
And what this lady has been through was just freaking horrendous.
Yeah.
All right. Can we move on? Thank you.
Yeah, that was important.
I know that we've got lots to get through. So that's awesome.
I'll mute myself now.
So basically, I just worked that out now that it's still 64% which if there's a high hourly rate for that invoice, then that's at 47.87. So I'll just put that in the thing now. So you'll see with the support work, there's no extra costings involved other than the admin fee of $35. If they obviously don't pay with the bank fee, so credit card, there'll be no bank fees. So that's still going really, really well. Now you'll see some things like with Henry's, we only invoiced like for $998.42. We had a lot of upfront costs for that particular session. So you will see on the invoice that I only put 1 hour through because the rest of it was all costings, dolphin watching and activities that he's been billed for through his funding. But on the next invoice down below, you'll see that it's invoice for $1,296, and I'll put down 19 hours, which is the equivalent. And that session came with $800 plus 30 for food, and the other expenses was only $157.96. So, and what I've done, because that was the one activity, but it had to be spread over 2 invoices, I just applied to the $10 for the first invoice for admin and 25 for the second. So the sums are there in the spreadsheet for you guys to look deeper. Our debt from the end of March it's down to 293, which is really good. But of course, we've got more. We've got some artwork. I've actually looked for some stock photos for the banner for Heidi. The guys designed the rest of the artwork, but I just got to get some specific Shutterstock high-res photos, so we save on time from our end. Oh, sorry, from his end, I should say. But also costing, because the longer he looks for it, the more he'll charge. He's an artwork designer, so. But yeah, he's nearly finished on that one, which is really cool. And the website. So I'm just going to stop share and then reshare on now. I don't know if you ladies have seen the website as yet. The design for the website. Make a search. Have you seen it yet, Kim?
Yeah, you shared it with us in last week, I think.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to be going through this with a bit more of a fine-tooth comb, because there's stuff all over the place that's not right. And the parts that I don't really like about it is this part's okay, that's cool, but I'm going to get a little bit fussy with there's too many people in wheelchair kind of photos.
Yeah, you said the wheelchair photos. There are too many.
Yeah. So I'm going to be going through this today and a bit tomorrow and a bit on Thursday. So we can, and I'm going to start, I've got to email them through basically every page that needs to be amended. So, and I suppose the word therapy, because I know we're not registered per se with therapies. I suppose we could still keep it there, but we can keep it ambiguous. And if we ever get questioned about it, we'll say, listen, we also want to keep the website open for people who don't have NDS registration. So if audit comes and goes, oh, what's this therapy page? I go, well, actually, we want to reach to a wider market and help people that don't have NDS as well. So I may, even with the blurb, when I start seeing what they've written, I can put down that it's available for non-NDS participants as well, or something like that. Does that make sense? So it just covers our ass that we can work with both kinds. How does that sound? Carol can't hear you through the thing.
Always the play on words.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Only because, oh, well, no, actually, no, Kim has a degree.
Yeah, but it's not specifically like just about that. If we keep it ambiguous, right, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because they could assume all these different things, or just say, no, we're just keeping it open to, a wider audience, so we can get, we want to take advantage of the market, so we can get people who don't have funding, don't want to.
I mean, the reality is, what does therapy mean? Massage therapy, talk therapy?
Yeah.
Sound therapy, art therapy. Like, therapy is such a broad broad word. Just like a therapist. What sort? Massage therapist?
Mm.
Talk therapist? Counselor? Like, it's so vague. It's so broad. It also depends on what does it conjure up in your mind. And I potentially would even ask Lee what it conjures up in his mind so we can get a slightly different view of the word therapy for them.
He would
What
say,
does
he'd say having a talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what he would say.
Yeah, so if it is having a talk, then automatically that goes towards helping us because it's talk therapy, which is ultimately what we do, as opposed to come onto the beach for a lommy lommy.
Mm.
You know, like if he thinks therapy is talk, then that's working for us because that's ultimately our services.
Of course. So I suppose that when we deliver it, we can just keep it ambiguous, but I'll just have a bit of a play on words. I'll literally go through every page and just go through it slowly and just see, and if there's anything that needs to be changed, we can change stuff at any time. This is not just a lock it in.
Absolutely. I mean, websites are easy to change. I guess it depends on, does NDIS have advertising guidelines, the do's and the don'ts? Because in the APRA allied health world, there are a whole pile of do's and don'ts on your website. The word gentle is not allowed to be used. The word safe is not allowed to be used.
Really?
Vaccines are safe and effective, but osteo is not.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is what I mean by because NDIS is within the system, just being mindful, are there advertising guidelines that we need to tick boxes for? Because if there are, then that may dictate what language you use on your website.
I think it's more about being in alignment with what you're approved for, but obviously most of the work that we've received hasn't been in alignment with what we've actually, been registered for, support work and
Luke,
other categories. Yes, Carol.
do we have psychosocial?
What does that mean specifically?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking, could that be a breakthrough category? I don't know. I don't know specifically what psychosocial is, but I'm thinking it would be mind stuff.
Yeah, I could talk to Helen about that.
Yeah.
I would suggest, just get the website to a 90% happiness rate, and then we can play and tweak, firstly as we go, but secondly as we get more people in the door to know what they're coming for and how we need to language that for it to still be compliant, as well as being vague enough that it could be interpreted anyway, because it can be anything like support and care on the Central Coast as opposed to the word therapy. There's different ways to play it, and it can even be because I know in websites that I've been involved with, the words on the page is one thing, but the words used within your SEO keywording stuff on the pages can be slightly different in order to still keyword the heck out of your pages, but not have it, as the headline sort of thing. So
yeah, I totally agree. I know what you mean. And I think too that you wanted to incite some or stimulate some sort of inquiry. So it's like, well, what do these guys actually do? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's important. I just think with the photos, I'm going to end the blurb. I'm just literally go through every page with a fine tooth comb. So on this page, this is what we want. Because I did this with our main website and it took freaking weeks, and yes, it's going to delay things to launch it. But when it's launched, then we're going to be happy with what we got rather than going, oh, I'm going to keep changing it just to launch it. I would rather have it not launched and make sure it's done schmicko. So when we launch, it's going to be, people are going to go, oh, wow, that's really cool. I like the colors and stuff. Like, it looks really good. It looks professional in the design aspect, but I start getting picky now on the aesthetics and also the information. So because we're crossing two worlds here, we've got creativity, the correct information or ambiguous information that's going to incite, or stimulate an inquiry, but also being in alignment with the NDIS. So there's no potential shitstorm. You would just want to kind of keep that to a minimum. So that's why this morning, been up extremely early to just sending agreements to people, invoicing the right places, because that's the biggest work. Doing the actual work itself. Like Di's going on a retreat with Heidi on the 1st of May. The retreat part's easy. Like you pay for it. But when you've got to organise flights, we don't charge for any of that with Di. We just literally just organise the flights. Not just organise the flights, but organise the flight, liaise with her, making sure that we've invoiced enough money that covers all the things that she needs to do. I know she's been, she's doing some sessions with Heidi as well soon. So she's doing a session with me, which just finished with me for the moment. She's been doing sessions with Carol, and she's about to do with Heidi. So I was like, well, next you'll be talking to Kim. Go through the whole tribe. But she's really happy. Like in general, she feels loved and supported. And I think that's really important for someone who, I would say, she'd have a sizable budget, because, she's sight impaired, and she wants to make sure she's got enough therapy or work there for her to learn and grow and continue the therapy
She's
work that she
smashing
does.
it though. Like she's on fire in regard to her mindset and what she wants to achieve. So it's exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Now, I received an email yesterday, Kim, from Audrey. She's back in town again. She was away overseas. So I still got to work out, like, because with her plan, it's literally NDIA managed, which means that they're the scrutineers. So if we fuck it up, we won't get paid. We'll be giving her a free session, and it's like not getting paid. So I've just got to go through her. I'm going to reply back today and go, hey, give me a couple of days, because by Thursday or definitely Friday, I'll be able to go a bit deeper and see if we can get things organized for next week. But I just got to check out those categories again and make sure I'm just covering my ass. So when we invoice, there's no backlash afterwards. Yeah. And this will be our first good test, of dealing directly with NDIA when it comes to invoicing. Because there's lots of learnings there, of course. But I've opened up the account, which is what I call Helen's program. That's the software. I've opened the account up. I sent her a big email this morning just with some of my questions. And I've actually asked her how much will it cost for, a one-on-one session to get some clarity and give me the confidence to get things started. Because once I learn it and learn it well, then I can pass it on to, either yourself, Kim, or Heidi or Carol. It doesn't matter. Just as long as there's 2 people out of the 4 that know the system well enough that if I can't do it, someone can jump in and add notes in, and eventually then you guys have confidence to log in and then go to your own client and then put your own notes in. And asking Helen, how can we note take on a particular category, but we're doing a breakthrough. So we're not going to write breakthrough notes, but we're going to write something that's in alignment with the category that we're invoicing under. Does that make sense, Kim?
Absolutely, and that's the thing. It's only ticking the boxes of the official shit.
Yeah, so that's why I've been a bit I'm not procrastinating, but I'm just being careful, because I really value the hard work that we've all put in, even to get it to here. And I want to continue that, and I don't want anything impeding. So that's why if I'm taking an extra month or even 2 months to really nail it, it's for good reason, because I just, this is brand new for me. It's brand new for all of us, but brand new in regards to, well, how do you document it properly? Yes, Helen's got those solutions, but I asked her that question, if most of our clientele in the system is not non-registered work, why the fuck should I send a link to the auditing team so they look at the whole picture, where we only need to focus on the ones that's for the group programs? So that's been my biggest question. I sent her an email this morning because I really wanted to make sure she understood my question in regards to that. So yeah, so I'm going to get back to Audrey on that one. I'll be sending 2 emails. I will tag you in those emails as well, Kim. So you're on top of that too. At some stage this week, Carol, if you can do a video in the group, that'd be really good, because Heidi's been doing a shit ton of work in there.
Yeah.
She's been doing a lot of posts. So I mean, I'd like to do one closer to the end of the week. So I might do mine on the Saturday morning.
Could we potentially do a schedule so that we're not overlapping, because every time I go to do one, Heidi's posted something, and I don't want people to feel like they're being bombarded, rather than every day. Maybe we could do, a Monday, Wednesday, a Friday, and rotate. You're nodding, Kim, thank you. Like rotate so that they're seeing different faces.
Yeah, when we first discussed this, I had said, like I can do a Monday, you do a Tuesday, you do a Wednesday, you do a Thursday. And on reflection, that's significantly too much.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think each week, two of us could, two
Yeah.
out of the four could do something, or two out of the three, and leave Luke to just be in there occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it would be okay that two of us go in this week and one next week, and then two
Yeah.
the week after and one the week
I
after that.
agree. I agree.
Can
We're
you guys
talking
organise that?
time- Yeah, we're talking to time poor individuals. So I feel like if we go in there every day, we've just become another chore.
Yeah. 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 And it's also, I mean, I get the shits myself when I keep seeing the same people in different groups. It's like, oh, freaking her again. It's like when you get bombarded with email after email after email.
Yes.
So, I agree. I think, maybe we could do 2, 1, and then 1 and 2, like just
Yeah, definitely.
separated a
So
little
that
bit.
way each of us is only, say, twice a month,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's you at least have potentially your day that you do, so that way there
Yeah.
is no overlap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
You
what I
know,
can talk about. I know exactly what I can talk about.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
retreat.
absolutely. So
The retreat.
if I do Mondays, but it doesn't have to be every Monday.
Yes.
Heidi does Wednesdays, but doesn't have to be every Wednesday,
Yeah.
and you do Friday, doesn't have to be
Fridays.
every Friday.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
way, if you have inspiration and do something, it's
Yeah.
not going to overlap with any of us, but it doesn't have to be weekly. So if you did 1 or 2 Fridays in the month, I do 1 or 2 Mondays in the month,
Yeah.
and Heidi does 1 or 2 Wednesdays in the month.
Wednesdays. Yeah.
And if we go a whole week without speaking, it's okay.
Yeah.
Or do a post or something. Yeah, I mean, we can do a post
Yeah.
instead of
Like
a
it doesn't
live.
have to be a
Absolutely.
video. It could be something inspirational. Like,
Yeah.
like some words of wisdom. I mean,
Absolutely.
Heidi's doing a beautiful job. Like everything that
Yes.
she's posting is beautiful and it's relevant. But every time I've gone to post in there, there's so I think it's really important that we do communicate that.
Absolutely.
Because I mean what Heidi's putting together, like with her her posts and the way that they're structured, they're just gorgeous.
Absolutely.
And
But
it's
if she sticks to a certain day of the week, that way we're not at risk of overlapping.
yeah.
That I think that will work really well, and just up to 2 a month sort of thing, rather than seeing any of us 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And if we feel we need more, great, throw an extra one in there, but just not too frequently.
Yeah. And maybe we can make sure that we stick to our days.
Yes. Yes.
Well.
Yes.
So, but I will be jumping in to talk about the retreat because, and I'm going to say thanks for everyone's feedback so far in regards to the retreat. And I'm going to explain that, if you're having troubles with wellways or,
Carer Gateway,
et cetera, there are other ways to use funding, and I'm going to explain them what we can, like you can use. There's parents and carers training, people's budgets. There is, which I literally just invoiced for this morning. That's why I know about that. And also, call some of their core support dollars as well, which will be very, very helpful. And I'm going to mention about the discount up until 31st of May. So I mention all that kind of stuff on a regular basis, like once a week even, just because obviously the time's ticking, and we've got to really, between now and July, get some bucks in so we can continue to build it up until September, because having $6,000 lying around is not great. as in to pay for that up front with no bums on seats. That's a big risk, and we don't want to do that.
I think we can infuse each of our messages with the retreat. You know, just it doesn't matter who's putting a post or a meme or whatever. It can be infused. We have a parents and carers retreat in September. Book your ticket.
Yeah.
You can use your funding. Reach out to find out how. So just sort of start the
So it's a
conversation.
call to action.
A call to action, but
Yeah.
just planting those seeds to go. You know, be sure to get the early bird ticket. You know, comment below or reach out to us directly, and we'll help you. You know, access your funding and stuff like that. So that way, because not everyone will know that they have funding available for retreats.
Yeah. Is that awareness there? So the next thing, thanks for that, Kim. The next thing is the photo shoot. So we bumped into Ingrid again the other night at one of our business meetups, and she said she's going to give us a lot more. I think it's around $950, something like that. Could be $1150, but I just know that she'll give us more than what we bargained for in regards to photos. And she gave us some ideas about what kind of Airbnbs we could potentially do. Now, we're going to do some research about different places that we could potentially do the photo shoot at. If it's a nicer Airbnb, because you're up on the Friday. What can you? I know you sent a message in the group, Kim. So what time will you come up on the Friday?
It's in the
I'm
afternoon.
pretty sure my flights were like all around 1 o'clock.
Let's have a look. I'll just go on the
All
group
I
message.
will come and get you.
Kim did put her flight. Here we go, Kim. So 14th of June. Okay, arriving 2:25 in Sydney.
Okay.
Coming from Gotham City. So that's the 14th. And going back Monday, 11 a.m. So you have to be there by about 9. So we've got the window basically. If we're going to do a Friday night and then photo shoot Saturday, will obviously be a few hours, and then we've got some brainstorming to do. So we're just going to work out when we're going to do the photo shoot with Ingrid. That was her name. So we've got all day Sunday to do brainstorm as well. So do we want to do 3 nights or 2 nights for Airbnb? I suppose it depends on the cost, doesn't it?
3.
So Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night.
3.
What are you laughing about 3 for, Carol?
I just want to do 3. I just think 3 would be lovely.
I don't know where this is at.
You've got to check out of Airbnbs by 10 o'clock anyway, so kicking me out to get to the airport.
Oh, she's gone here. 2 guests, 1 bathroom, 1 bedroom. That's not going to work, Ingrid. 1 king bed. No, 4 people aren't.
No.
I'm all for top and tail, but hell no.
I think she was looking at.
We could do Friday night when Kim arrives, couldn't we? We could do Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then Kim could stay here Sunday night, and then we could go to the airport rather than be trying to get out of an Airbnb.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. 2 nights, head down, bum up at an Airbnb, and the Sunday night just at your place, cash.
Yeah.
Given we've got to get up to get to the airport Monday morning, there's no point paying for that night's accommodation.
Yeah.
When you're sort of kicked out type thing.
Yeah. So
we can leave leisurely on Sunday instead.
Yeah.
And it will also give us 2 different places for photo type stuff, not necessarily as a group, but just individually as well.
Yeah.
Some of it at Airbnb, we'll make sure we get a lot of group shots, use that opportunity that all 4 of us are there. But then even going back to your place and just having, beachy shots or just different environment shots.
Well, I think what we're looking at is doing something very local. Like we're not going to go too far away.
Not at all.
But somewhere nice.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It can be nice. So firstly, it's a great experience for us, but also so the photos are clean and crisp.
Yes.
Because that makes a really good, it just makes a really good opportunity to have it all streamlined and look pretty and all that sort of stuff, because, you know, like I haven't had a photo shoot done in a while.
Mm, mm.
And this is in June, isn't it?
It is.
It is
Yeah.
in June.
It'll be
So I'll have
bloody
fresh
freezing.
hair.
Yes. It'll be cold, but that's okay.
Okay. That's
But al-
okay.
But also to, we'll make sure that like the goal is that our profits can go into paying for things like this. Do you know what I mean? So it's not, we want to try and minimize the out of pocket expenses.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep doing our best to cover that. Airbnb, not sure, but we'll just see how the funds are going. That we just keep on top of things.
Well, the more we can get people funded for the retreat, the more,
Mm.
you know, the more access we have to funds, the more breakthroughs we get through. Like at the end of the day, the more we can trickle in the money, then that covers a lot of this sort of stuff too.
I'm sure that I know there's a better system than what I'm doing right now, Kim, in regards to the accounting, but it just works for now. That as long as I know what's going where and I can explain it's in relation to the invoicing, like it relates to an invoice number, and I know on those dates, I know certain expenses have come out because it's been paid, so I can actually just look at my with my data entry, because I do my data entry. Ask Carol. Some of our socialization has been really shit of late because data entry.
We have not seen each other. And then I'm running away on the weekend to go to a retreat in Wollongong with my bestie so that we can have a yoga weekend.
Awesome. So, but
So Luke can stay home with his spreadsheets. It sounds so much fun.
Exactly.
yeah, not bed sheets, just spreadsheets.
Well,
Spreadsheets.
he's been swimming with dolphins and, doing all the things. So it's my turn.
I got paid for mine.
Yeah, righto. No.
It was really good. There was about 200 dolphins, Kim, so not to brag, but it was pretty good.
No kissing contest here.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, in regards to the group program stuff, I know that we haven't been no closer, and I know Chrissy Stobbs reached out about a month ago because she wants to do some things in Melbourne. I would say for this week, let's just get through this week, and we will be more on board next week and discuss that a little bit further, so we can choose some dates, like proper dates, and start to promote it exactly.
I also did say to Heidi too, Kim, that when we had that discussion around all the programs, I actually went into ChatGTP and got it to help me write some 6-week programs. So I've got them so I can send them to you and let you guys have a look at them, because I think we can, like what ChatGTP came up with and then a couple of things that I wanted to add in, it was like, oh, okay, this is actually quite good. So I think I've done anxiety, depression, sleep. Yeah, and I think I might have done one for mindfulness as well. So
Yeah.
it's
we
all
only need to schedule the templates,
Yeah,
because we can
yeah.
all run our own version of
Yeah.
it, providing we're ticking the boxes of the template or schedule.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's really cool to just have a base template of a 6-week program.
Yep.
So that way it can be launched, for the end of term 2. And then we can launch another one for the start of term 3, and just it doesn't matter who takes it.
No.
And it doesn't matter who takes what weeks. At the end of the day, the participants are turning up to a group program and they don't have to know the facilitator
Exactly.
in advance. We could schedule it week by week, like who's got availability next Tuesday at 7:00. Okay, great, you take it.
Yeah. And I guess it's also about like just all agreeing on the format and everything. And then what we'll do is we'll hand it over to Luke and he can make it all pretty in Canva.
Absolutely. And I think with all of that, less is more. What are their outcomes? What are they trying to achieve? What are they going to get out of it, rather than what are we delivering?
Yeah, 100%.
Because the way we deliver it is our own flair. We all know how to do it. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
But just so that way it ticks the boxes for their criteria for their funding.
100%.
That's all it's ever about, matching the criteria with the funding.
Yeah.
So remembering that our categories in regards to the funding. 0116 innovative community participation, 0117 development life skills,
I need to
01
write this down in minutes.
Yeah, can you put those categories somewhere really clear and obvious for us?
where would you
Whether
like
it's
it?
in a maybe even just pinned into our Facebook group, like just the us group,
The team.
the team group,
I'll
so
do
we
a
actually
post.
just
Yeah.
have it visible to go, here are our actual categories, and it'll help us get the juices flowing for how to language what we're talking about to make sure it matches. We're all pretty cool at utilizing words and language to make it match the criteria, but I need to know what the criteria are.
Mm.
All right.
So, Luke, if
So,
you can just literally give our codes and criteria into the team Facebook group and pin it, that way we can all find it when we need to, because those codes and criteria are the basis of people's funding. So we need to be able to tweak our programs to be able to tick those boxes. At the end of the day, we can teach anything, but they need to still tick those criteria boxes for funding.
Mm.
if I do a post, I should be able to pin that post, shouldn't I?
Yep.
All right. So
Yep.
do
As long as
this.
we've got the words of what are the codes, what are the words in the criteria.
Oh, it's just literally like, for example, 0116 innovative community participation. Like that's
Yes.
the only words afterwards. So I'm doing a post now.
Perfect, because I don't even know what that means, but
Well, you know what? You can actually, because people can add information to GPT, you can actually do a search on that and you'll find what it actually means.
yes, which is excellent. So at least if I know what I'm looking for, because I don't even know what our categories are.
Pin to featured. There you go. I just pinned it to the featured. So it should be up the top now, Kim.
Perfect.
And then I'll go at everyone. Done.
Yeah, perfect. Because that way I've at least got a clue where to look, what our criteria are. And then when I've got inquiries coming through from my end, from a breakthrough or group perspective, I at least know what sort of categories we're part of.
Now, the other thing as well, saying that, so the email that I sent to Helen, I'll bring it up now just so you know, like what's happened since we've started, in like how we've invoiced, because people, if they don't use it, they lose it. So
Yes.
we've got to get a bit creative sometimes. Now, my question to Helen was like, well, you know, some categories we don't need to be registered, but we still, get work. So I'm just going to show you that email just to give you a scope, Kim, and we can go a bit deeper later on. But so in this part of the email, I said we've been receiving work that doesn't require registration, like support work mainly, and also we've invoiced under the following. So what I've highlighted in blue: participation in community, social, and civic activities. And so participation in community, social, and civic activity. That's an actual title for one of the categories. You see where it says 04? I don't know if you can see that from the car. 04, 104, 0125, blah, blah, blah. That's part of the schedule. So you can literally, I will get the PDF that I got this morning and you can see all the different categories. It's an NDS document. Approved daily living is a very ambiguous one. It's used massively until they kind of start to make it harder. We'll just keep using these categories. Then you've got core support, social community and participation, and personal care. They're just a few that we've used, and you don't necessarily need to be registered for that. So if some people start saying, oh, listen, I've got some funding in this category 15, if you remember 15 or category 4, they're the two ones that we've used a lot as well, to say, I can just send you to Luke to work out the fine details, but we have invoiced before under these categories and it's worked really, really well. How does that sound? Yada, yada, yada. So once I get some feedback from Helen on that one, then we can get a bit more clear on the data, because there's no point. I mean, yes, we still want to register and for Helen's program, because we've still got to add staff in the future, because what at the moment we've just got spreadsheets fucking everywhere, and I don't want that. I actually want to have it all in one place. But the part that I'm not comfortable with is like, well, why should we send they call it like an external link, so they can have a bit of a bo peep at your back end per se, and how you've documented things. And it's like, well, what's the fucking point? Because all that work has got nothing to do with them. It's actually non-registered work. Until we register ourselves, because I know at one stage we will have to register as like a support work provider, officially, what's the fucking point? So that's why I'm just doing a bit of homework on the back end. So, but when we do implement it, of course, then we can just go nuts and document it the way that they want to see it. I'm sure Kim Brown knows all about how to do that. We won't say too much, just in case, Big Brother's watching our Zoom right now.
Sure.
So that's what I've done with Helen, just so you know. So I will do what I'm going to do on my end. I will reply back to Audrey and see how we can help her, and get some work for Kim Brown, and we'll suss out all of the other bits and pieces. So I'll just stop recording now.